It is the end of the 2023 harvest here in the Douro Valley, and I'm happy with what the year has given us. We're coming from a cycle of dry, hot years, and the 2023 winter has been very welcomingly wet. In 2022, we had one of the driest years for many, many years, with only 354 millimeters of rain being recorded for the whole of the 2022 season. And so, with the 2023 winter having brought us 484 millimeters of rain just in the winter, that has been fundamental to replenish our much-needed ground reserves. Budburst this year started on the 18th of March, and that is 3 days later than our 21-year average, which is the 15th of March. And that was followed by a very hot, dry April. That very much characterized the beginning of our season. The growth of the vines flourished with a hot, warm spring, and we were seeing the season 2 weeks ahead of usual. Flowering occurred around the 1st of May in all the low altitude vineyards of the Douro. And following the wet winter and the warm spring, we saw a vital rejuvenation of the vineyards following the very dry and hot 2022 season. We had a wet period between the 22nd of May and the 10th of June. During this period, we had 96 millimeters of rain here in Guimaraens, and there was a lot of threat from mildew, which kept us on our toes in taking care of our vineyards. Also during this period, we had 13 days of yellow warnings for hailstorms, and hailstorms did occur in different parts of the region with some severity, but fortunately these were only localized to a few small areas. However challenging the outbreaks of mildew were, the rainfall was very welcome to maintain the water reserves replenished. Floraison was registered here in Guimaraens on the 7th of July, which was 4 days later than 2017, which was an equally advanced season. July itself, in fact, had a mean temperature of 24.5 degrees centigrade, which is considered to be average, but contrary to the usual, this year August was extremely hot, and we had an average temperature during the month of August of 26.2 degrees centigrade. That was particularly hot, and that was particularly felt towards the end of August, where on the 21st and 22nd we recorded 2 days above 45 degrees centigrade. And that had a tremendous impact across the vineyards of the region. In the lower lying vineyards, we had a fair bit of sunburn, but in the less exposed medium altitude vineyards, this heat was actually very welcoming for the advance of the ripening of the grapes. Picking in the region started in the middle of August with the white grapes, but for our red grapes, we waited until the week of the 4th of September. It was a welcome rainfall that came on the 3rd of September, which brought 13 millimeters of rain here in Guimaraens that gave a wonderful touch to the final ripening of the grapes. And with that, the first week of September, the picking occurred under excellent conditions. However, another factor that marked this harvest was a second period of rain on the 10th of September, where here in Guimaraens, 26 millimeters of rain came down with quite a bit of intensity. Well, that put a bit of a pause in the harvest, but fortunately the weather cleared up again and we got another further week of excellent grapes coming in. That was until we had our third instant of rain, where on the 16th of September, here it came down with a lot of rain. We got 60 millimeters, and that really dictated the change of the harvest. And from that point forward, it then became a race against time to bring the remaining grapes into our wineries and close off the vintage. There are 3 of our varieties that I like to pick out for their behavior this harvest. And those are Touriga Francesa, Tinta Roriz, and Tinto Calm. Touriga Francesa, which is the most widely planted variety here in the region, it marked the year by being the first to go into veraison, and it was very early in its ripening, with great concentration and very attractive. Tinta Roriz is always one of the backbones of our ports, and you could feel in the grapes the amount of color they had in the skins. It was a very well-behaved Tinta Roriz. But by far, to me, the star of this year is our faithful Tinto Calm, our oldest grape variety and one that has a key role across all of our vineyards. And the Tinto Calm produced grapes with wonderful richness, wonderful flavor, and great color. And that is always the sign of a good year. So when I look back at the ports that we have produced this harvest, we have a very good collection of ports. We've got ports that stand out for their flavor, for their freshness, for their elegance. We have got ports with good structure, good grip, nice tannins. And then we have ports which have been affected by the rain. They're a bit more diluted, but they're still very fine. And so I look forward to our January tastings, where we will do the main classification of our ports from the 2023 harvest.